Jeff, I grew tomatoes in the yard this summer. Fisher asked, do you think that Smoky Mountain Wrestling would have ever thrived in the territory era of the 70s and then the early 80s?
Gosh, I don't know why not. If they had the same, I guess, backer who seemed to love wrestling, which is a big key, because he took a few losses before he made any money, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you had that talent list, I don't know why not.
It had the same formula as those old school wrestling regional promotions.
Very similar to Continental.
Yep.
You know, when I was there, that was with a crew of about, I think we probably had 16 to 20 guys, and that was it in the entire company.
Faithful listener Bryant Haremza writes in, after having so many matches against the Rock and Roll Express, was it different teaming with them in Smoky Mountain, or was there just so much chemistry that it was easy for you?
No, it was surreal because it was just so far-fetched. You know, in those days, kayfabe was alive, and you know, there were good guys and there were bad guys, and at that point in my career, I was pretty much heavily recognized as being a bad guy, and those guys were straight baby faces. So it was kind of surreal, to be honest with you. But I enjoyed it, man. I had a blast.
Yeah, man. Our last question comes from Carl Hayes, our old pal. He said he wants your opinion on SMW and the time it existed. He says, when you appeared in Smoky Mountain, did you think maybe the territories aren't done? Was there a thought that smaller wrestling organizations could still survive?
Let me put it to you this way. I hoped.
Yeah.
You know, the best time I had in my life, like I said, was when the 14 months I worked for Continental down and lived in Pensacola. It was so different in every way from the big companies, you know, but it was, once you got used to the travel, which was minimal with Continental, and it would have been minimal if they would have expanded, and with Smoky Mountain, I'm sure they wouldn't have had a lot of long drives because there's enough towns that were close enough to them. It was just, there was no such thing as airplanes in those days. And to be honest with you, that was a good thing.